I were moving to Gig Harbor in 2026, I would be super intentional about it. Gig Harbor isn't just a nice little town across the Narrows Bridge from Tacoma. It's a very unique area with very different neighborhoods in it. On paper, you're gonna hear things like Cannerwood, Rosedale, Artendale, Fox Island, which, you know, it's all Gig Harbor, it's all kind of the same thing, but depending where you end up, it could drastically change your day-to-day life. So let's dig into all of those things here. So in this video, I'm gonna break down where I would live depending on where I'm at in my stage of life. We're gonna talk about where I live and why I chose to live there and why that's good for some people and maybe not good for others. And then we're gonna go into the different areas. You know, I live in Cannerwood. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about right here downtown on the water. We're gonna talk about the areas out in Rosedale and Artendale, Fox Island, things like that. My name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor and head of the Rivers Group. And I help families, professionals, even retirees relocate to Gig Harbor all the time. So let's get this video started with where I would relocate to if I were moving to Gig Harbor. And you know where I would go? I'd go right where I live right now, which is here at Cannerwood. I've actually lived here for 20 years, so it's appealing to many, many different people from various age ranges, but I'm in my early 50s. I have 2 grown adult kids now, and I'm still living here. I've been here for 20 years. It's because I like the lifestyle that Cannerwood has to offer. Cannerwood is a neighborhood in Gig Harbor North. It has about 815 homes. It is a gated community, and it is surrounded by this golf course. Now, the golf club is separate from the neighborhood. You can be a member of one and live here, or live here and not be a member of the club. They're 2 totally separate entities, but many of the residents in here are members because they take advantage of everything that they have to offer here. It's like you're on vacation every day. You use the golf course, you can use the gym, the pool, the tennis courts, the pickleball courts, the bar, the restaurant, all the amenities. My kids were raised in here and they grew up playing golf and doing tennis lessons and swim lessons and all those things. So this appeals to many people, from young families to retired folks. Cannerwood is a great place. And if I were coming here, this is where I would come. One more thing I want to touch on about Cannerwood and Gig Harbor North in general is how close it is to so many amenities. Right down the hill from here is Target, Costco, and Home Depot, and the YMCA. It's literally like 3 or 4 minutes away, and so is freeway access. So if you're a commuter and you need to go down to Tacoma or over to the airport or even up to Bremerton, if you work up in there, we're super close to the freeway, so it's super convenient for you commuters out there. This is just really a prime location to be. Now, you might want to choose which elementary school or which junior high, but it's all the same school district and they all basically have the same sort of ratings. And like I said, Cannerwood is really diverse. We have the young families in there, like how I started out in there with my 2 little kids, raised our kids in there as a young family. It's safe, it's gated. I had no problem with my kids driving or riding their bikes around to their friends' houses. No cars are doing 60 miles an hour. It's a nice, clean, everybody takes pride in their property. It's just a really nice place to live. If you're a retiree, it's also maybe a good place to live, especially if you want that country club lifestyle. It's super quiet, it's super safe, and everything is right there. So I have friends that are retired that I play golf with on a pretty regular basis. They just walk up to the course or they drive their golf cart up to the course to the neighborhood, things like that. It is a very diverse, from the age standpoint, super diverse neighborhood, and it's a really cool spot. If you're a single person looking for a nightlife action, that's probably not where you want to be. It is definitely the country club lifestyle, not a nightlife type lifestyle. So with just Cannerwood, we're going to finish up with Cannerwood right now. It's one of the more sought after neighborhoods in Gig Harbor. Unless you're on the water like this, which is spectacular, it's probably one of the more prestigious neighborhoods in Gig Harbor. It's super sought after. The home values really maintain and increase kind of at a more accelerated pace than the rest of the area. It's a super good spot to be. Okay, so let's switch gears here. Let's talk about what you may be as far as where you're at in life. Now, if I was a young professional, so let's talk about mid-20s, early 30s, single maybe, I don't know if I would actually live in Gig Harbor. It's a nice, quiet place. It is really nice for sure, but there's not a whole lot of action. I was just talking about like the hub of action. It's Gig Harbor action, right? Everything shuts down at 9 o'clock at night. Now, there's a couple bars that stay open later and things like that, but for the most part, if you don't get your meal order in by 8:30 or so, those kitchens are shutting down and most of the restaurants shut off by 9 o'clock. So it's kind of a mom and pop sort of town, but we're really close to Tacoma. It's only 15-20 minutes to get to downtown Tacoma. So maybe you want to be one of those young professionals that lives in a quiet quiet spot, but you can go hit the real city action with just a short drive away. Now let's have a little fun with this one. Let's say budget's not an option. Oh, you can maybe buy one of those on the water. So if you're into waterfront living, you want the water lifestyle, whether you're a paddleboarder or a kayaker or you got a boat, you live in one of those, you have your own deep water dock, you can leave any kind of boat you want right in your backyard. Now, like I said, budget, it's kind of got to go out the window. There's a house right over there that sold last year for about $6 million. So you're talking a whole different ball of wax when it comes to price point. But if you want waterfront living, we are all over the place with waterfront living. You can live downtown Gig Harbor where I am right now. This is the main harbor and the marina of it and everything like that. But there's waterfront in Rosedale and Artendale and Fox Island and Raft Island and Woodlachit Bay, Horsehead Bay. It's everywhere. We have miles and miles and miles of waterfront with amazing waterfront homes. We have 7 public boat launches that you can use. If you want to have access to the water, it is everywhere. You don't have to live in one of these multi-million-dollar homes right on the water. You can be nearby, drive down. Even where I live in Candlewood, it's only 10 minutes for me to get down here. I can throw my paddleboard in my truck, come down here, launch it off from this public dock right here, and go paddleboarding right out there in the water. Now, if I were raising a young family, there's a couple different options that I would consider. Truthfully, downtown probably wouldn't be one of them. There's other neighborhoods that are more of that neighborhood feel that I would probably be attracted to. Like I said, I raised my kids here in Candlewood and it was great. You know, the streets are nice and quiet. I had no problem with my kids getting on their bikes and riding to their friends' houses. I had a really good sense of safety and security. But if you want more space and some privacy, maybe Artendale or Rosedale or even Fox Island, you get those neighborhoods, but you have half-acre lots, acre lots, a bit more privacy. Now, keep in mind, the further you go out there, the further it is to get to the freeways. So if you're a commuter and you're raising a young family, all of a sudden you might be adding 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes to your commute if you live way out on the tip of Fox Island. So keep that in mind if that's important for you. But there's some great options for families, in my opinion. Gig Harbor North, which Candlewood is, but we also have Harbor Hill, which is more of a track home community, certainly more affordable than Candlewood would be. There's all sorts of options. Just for me, I probably wouldn't do downtown. I don't think that's where I'd go with a young family. I'd probably want more of that family environment. Let's talk about if you are of retirement age or nearing retirement age, where you may want to be. Of course, this is going to vary depending on you. If you're a horse person and you want to be in that lifestyle still, you're going to go out to the places where you have more opportunity to have acreage, have horses on property, things like that. If you're a golfer, tennis player, pickleball player, which a lot of retired people are these days, maybe it'll be something like this. But if I was retiring, where I would want to go is I'd want to live downtown Gig Harbor. That's absolutely where I'd want to be. You're right in the hub of all the action down there. You have the farmers market going on in the summers. You have the free summer concert series, which takes place on Tuesday nights in the summertime. I would love just to walk from my house down to the waterfront, go for a walk with the dog, put my paddleboard off of one of the docks, the public docks down in the harbor, go paddling around. There's coffee shops, there's breweries, there's all those things going on downtown. I would absolutely want to be downtown if I was in that lifestyle. If I was at that retirement age and I didn't live here in Candlewood, I'd 100% go downtown. So some things that I'd watch for in 2026, and you got to really understand Gig Harbor. Gig Harbor is a small community. The city limits of Gig Harbor is quite small. There's maybe only 10, 12,000 people. The greater outside area, unincorporated part of Gig Harbor, the whole area is about 40,000 people. What I'd watch for is just how we've grown. We have definitely developed. Now, downtown's pretty well established. There's not really room to like add anything. So what it is what it is. Now you get out to the outer areas where there's more space. There's been some track home places that have popped up. Some of them were quite big, like Harbor Hill and Gig Harbor North. There's like 3,000 homes they built in there maybe 10 years ago or so. But you get out in Artendale and Rosedale, you might see some one-offs of little track home neighborhoods of 10 or 20 homes that go into little pockets. So watch for growth. We talked about how Rosedale and Artendale and Fox Island are pretty quiet. With population growth, they're probably going to slowly start growth. Is this all going to happen in 2026? No, but I'd be on the watch out for it. So what it boils down to is you got to figure out what is important for you, what your trade-offs are. You want the privacy and to be out a little bit, and then you can handle that it takes a little bit longer to get to maybe work or get to your kid's school or get to the grocery store. Do you want to be closer to the hub of activity and have things that you can just walk to? Or do you want that great country club lifestyle like I love and have everything right there in your backyard? backyard as far as the activities you love to do. So you got to really figure out what you want, and then of course figure out what your budget is and what you can afford, because if you want the waterfront lifestyle like those right over there, well, that's a whole different ball of wax, and you got to make sure that you can afford that kind of lifestyle, because that is not cheap. So your top two really important things that you got to look into before you decide where you're going to buy is what your budget is, like what can you actually afford to buy. There's no reason to look at waterfront homes if you can't afford $4 or $5 million, because that's what some of those things go for. And then what are your non-negotiables, right? Like what is super important for you? Do you not want to be more than 30 minutes from work? Do you want to be able to walk to the bus stop with your kids? Do you want to get to Costco within 10 minutes and not have a half hour or longer if you're at the tip of Fox Island to get to Costco? What are your non-negotiables? That's something that you got to figure out. Okay, everybody, let's sum this up. Again, my name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor and head of the Rivers Group, and I have helped literally hundreds and hundreds of families relocate to Gig Harbor. If you have any questions about Gig Harbor at all, feel free to reach out to me. My team and I, we're here to help you and answer any questions and just be a resource for you. Make sure you give me a call, and we'll see you on the next video.